Today we're going to go over how to clay bar your car. Now you can see this nice orange FRS. If we come up to the paint, and this actually is washed, you guys can hear that through the mic. So your paint should not sound like that after your car is clean. That is a sign that is contaminated. So things like overspray, actually dirt can actually be stained into the paint. All that noise is basically all those contaminants stuck into the pores of the paint. So what this thing does right here, a clay bar, is removes that. And we're gonna go into it so you guys can see. All right, first I'm gonna bring you guys in and actually show you guys the clay bar. So if you see that, it looks just like a piece of clay. But when you get it, it's gonna be in like a form of like a little block. So what you have to actually do is take the clay bar and flatten it as much as you can. So if we just take our fingers right here and just flatten it as best as we can, doesn't need to be in a perfect square or a rectangle or anything like that. Just needs to be as flat as possible. And then when you're using it on the paint, you just want to use very little pressure, only like the pressure of your hand. Obviously you're gonna need some type of pressure, but we're not going crazy hard. And let's go in so you guys can see. So again, to do this, you need to wash the car first. And let's come in again and listen to it. You guys can hear that. You're gonna need a detail spray, a clay lubricant, or a car wash soap. I don't like to use car wash soap because it actually deteriorates the clay bar and makes it basically break up, so you don't get the most longevity out of it, but you can use it. So what I recommend doing is make sure you get a lot of lubrication. You can also spray the clay bar as well. And you only wanna work little sections, so like 2 by 2 foot areas. And we're gonna come in here and just go left and right. Or you can go up and down, but you don't want to do circles, so you don't want to do this. Okay, we don't want to put heavy pressure, and the more that you tend to go circles, the heavier pressure you tend to use. So don't use circles. But when you start to do this, you're going to hear the paint start to get nice and the noise is going to go away. Okay, you can move on to the next section. Just spray and keep working. I like to use waffle weave towels when doing this. And you can also take a look at the paint too. There's little brown or black dots here that we're actually removing. Not sure what that is, but they are coming off. But if you guys can hear, it's starting to get nice and smooth now it's coming here. So let's take a look at the clay bar now. You guys can see that browning right here. So what you actually want to do is flip this over now to a fresh side and keep working. Some cars are going to have more contaminants than others, so you may need to work longer on other cars versus another. And then what I do is I actually take a waffle weave, because if you try and use regular microfibers, you're just going to push water around a lot more. So what I do is I take the waffle weave, pick up all that water, and then I come back with a microfiber and buff it off. Now be aware that sometimes when you clay bar, you can actually leave some marring left over, depending on how soft your paint is. So you may need to polish afterwards, all right? What happens when your clay bar gets fully contaminated, and this is what you gotta do. So you need to knead the clay bar is what it's called. So you're gonna stretch it out like this, and you're gonna flip it a couple times. And this is gonna reveal a fresh side so you guys can keep claying. Because if you keep trying to clay with the same piece, what's gonna happen is that this thing's gonna get full of contamination and it's not gonna pick anything else up. So it takes a little bit of work, but we're gonna come in here again. Like I said, we're gonna fold it like we did, and then we're gonna flatten it. Okay, and then you're gonna notice, see how we have a fresh new side? Looks clean and ready to go, because if this thing is full of contamination, it's not going to pick up any more stuff off your paint, because it's gonna be clogged. So that's why you have to do this before polishing, because the same thing's gonna happen with a polishing pad. If you fail to clay bar your car, it's gonna fill up the pad and it's not gonna cut or polish. So there we go. Okay, so let's do a before and after. So this is before we clay bar. This is not clay on this side. You guys hear that? Now we're gonna come to this side. So you can't hear anything now? So this is absolutely critical if you're gonna polish your paint. You need to clay it because any contaminants that are sitting on the paint can actually go up into the pad and affect your polishing process. So make sure you clay bar your car. So I hope this video helped you out. 3 things you gotta remember. Always use some type of lubricant when claying. Never do this just with the clay bar itself. So you either wanna use detail spray, car wash soap, clay lubricant. Okay, make sure to always know that also this can come in different grades. So this can come in mild, okay, this can come in medium and aggressive. The more aggressive it is, the more chance, you know, it's gonna have of picking up harder contamination and sticking to the paint. It's probably gonna mar the paint more. And also you can get mild. So mild's gonna give you less chance of marring the paint, like you guys saw before in the video. But it's gonna also pick up less. So you can actually get medium as well. And obviously that's gonna be in the middle of both of them. And then also always remember to knead your clay bar, because once it gets full, it's not going to pick up anymore. I hope these tips helped you guys out. There's other, actually, if you guys actually want to know, there actually is other forms of clay, but we will get into that. Make sure you guys comment on the video. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys check out our other videos on our channel, Sudsbox, and you can also, go to our YouTube. We're going to have other videos there and our TikTok, guys. Thank you so much. My name is Jesse Kino. I'm the founder of Sudsbox. Thanks, guys.